Guys, it's been a while since I've shot a video here in the studio. I just got back from my European trip and we just dropped a new kit, brand spanking new kit, number 14. I'm going to tell you all about this kit and also give you a few updates on the channel updates after the outro. So find out about this new kit, number 14, SCENTCLUB kit number 14, which dropped to past subscribers yesterday. Now it's the official drop, and you're going to want to find out what's in here because it's really great fragrances, really top-notch scents that you don't want to miss out on. So find out about them coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian, talking to you about the latest SCENTCLUB kit. It's number 14. Can you believe it? We've done 14 kits now. Started in the middle of 22. This is almost the middle of 25. And so almost 3 years, although the kit's idea was kind of gestating. I believe we started talking about it in around 2021 during the height of the pandemic, and it came together in 22. And I'm grateful that I get to work with some amazing brands and we get to feature some amazing fragrances. So we've got L'Orchestre Parfum's latest release called Cocktail APPALACHES, this one right here in the first spot. This is Eau de Parfum concentration. We've got Bois Imperial Extrait, or Extrait de Parfum, from the house of Essential Parfums. That's the second fragrance. And a brand new house that I did a video on with the founder of the house during Exxons. If you haven't caught that, go catch it. But the brand is BLNDRGRPHY, and it's Vanilla MUDSLIDE, which I discovered last September during Petit Fragranza. And at that time, I was like so impressed with the quality of this fragrance. I ended up with a decant of the fragrance, and I've been wearing it, and I've gotten compliments from this one. So we programmed this to be featured in the kit now. So this is the third fragrance in the kit. So before I get to talking to you about the details on these fragrances, I just want to say that since we had the store closed, we do have some more of kit number 13 available. And those fragrances, I don't have the fragrances here with me. I mean, they're here, but I don't have them here in front of the camera. But we have Tonka Hysteria, we have Cherry Punk Extrait, and then we have Jasmine White Leather. Those are the three fragrances in the previous kit, and that's kit number 13. So we have some of those left linked in the info box, but today it's all about kit number 14. Let me show you the image of the bottles. So I'm excited for this kit. We've got two really potent fragrances, the latter two, and the first one's pretty potent as well, and I'm going to talk to you about that one first. L'Orchestre Parfum Cocktail APPALACHES. This happens to be their second Boozy fragrance, and it just launched at the very end of last year. I actually got to sample it really quickly during, not PT Fragranza, but Duty Free TFWA in Cannes. And at that time, I was like, wow, that smells great. I want to get to know it a little bit more. Then I was at ZGO Perfumery when they got this fragrance, and I started testing it out there, and I thought, okay, yeah, this one definitely needs to be highlighted in the kit, and I'm so happy to have it here in kit number 14. So this is a perfume created by Camille Chemardin. I would call this a woody, spicy, boozy fragrance, and it features notes of guitar wood liqueur, amaretto accord, roasted sesame, vanilla, tobacco, pink pepper, benzoin, and saffron. This is quite yummy, and I love boozy fragrances, and even though boozy fragrances are basically a style, not necessarily a single note, typically the notes that I like are the rum, the cognac, the whiskey. And this one doesn't really mention what liqueur it has. It has guitar wood liqueur, but it's focused on the Appalachians. So what were they known for? Is it whiskey or is it brandy there? I've not really been to that part of the USA. But to me, it's a great take on a boozy fragrance with a bit of a almondy booziness in here as well. So there's slight nutty touches. Of course, it's vanillic. There's tobacco, there's spices, slight leathery spiciness from the saffron, and of course it becomes an amber when it's drying down. Super fantastic, created by Camille Chemardin. She's a perfumer at the firm called Flair. And if you don't know about this perfumer, she did a fragrance for the house of Lumari called Porthole. Everybody was a big fan of that one. Now, this is the second time I featured this perfumer in a kit. Of course, we featured Lumari a year and a half ago, the Porthole, and now we've got Cocktail Appalaches. So let me know if you're familiar with this one, if you haven't sampled it. If you like a great boozy fragrance, please check this one out. Let me give you a little bit more. So on the strip, it's interesting. The pink pepper or the peppery spiciness is a bit more amplified when you first spray it. But I don't get much of the pink pepper on my skin. I get it. It's spicy, but it doesn't stand out as much as on the strip. But once that pepper goes away, then we're kind of left with the kind of fragrance this is. Definitely boozy with a liqueur-like effect. Slightly almondy with the almondy liqueur note in here. The nuttiness from the sesame. Sesame seeds are becoming very popular or kind of trendy in fragrances. They're popping up quite a bit. And you experience that here for sure. There's the vanilla, of course. And you know, you got the tobacco in this. The tobacco is quite nice. I like tobacco with boozy notes. They work really wonderfully together. In the end, you're smoking and drinking booze at the same time if you are a smoker. So, I mean, my dad was always sipping on whiskey with a cigar with his buddies, I remember as a kid. So that kind of an idea is kind of present here. And of course, as I said, it dries down to a kind of a slightly aromatic, spicy, leathery with ambery, vanillic touches. Gorgeous fragrance. Really love it. And I definitely pick up the DNA of the Flair perfumers. I speak about this perfumer group. They're a small perfume house with probably like 5 or 6 perfumers. And of course, Amélie Bourgeois and Anne-Sophie Bahagel, I think, are the main perfumers. There's also there's Margot Lepaille-Gorin, who's also been doing a lot of great fragrances. She did Janny for Soradora. She's done Filthy Musk for Born to Stand Out and other fragrances. So I really like the fragrances of this perfume house. And not a brand, but a perfume house, which is basically a business with perfumers working, and they have their own ingredients they work with. And the cool thing is, Vanilla Mudslide is also from a perfumer that's under this house. So let's see if you guys get a little bit of their ingredients DNA. You'll smell the fragrances once you pick up the kit, and you'll see. I mean, I don't get similarities with the fragrances. The first fragrance, Cocktail Appalaches, with the Vanilla Mudslide, they're both kind of boozy focused fragrances, but when you kind of strip away the notes and you're kind of studying each note and singling them out, you'll kind of smell like where the ingredients came from sort of thing. So the next fragrance is from the house of Essential Parfums. It's Bois Imperial Extrait, this one right here. So this one came out last year. I sampled it for the first time at Petit Fragranza, just like when I sampled this one at that show as well. And I was like, you know, Bois Imperial is good. I think it's the most popular from the brand, Essential Parfums. So it's a given that they launched an Extrait de Parfum. It's a given. I mean, they're going to try and come up with more interest in that fragrance to capitalize on the success of it and things like that. And I do enjoy this one, although you might be more into the original. This one does get more ambery. There's resinous touches when it's drying down, so it's definitely more amplified. And some people don't want that intensity, but some people do, and I do enjoy more intense fragrances, and this one definitely rocks. This is a Quentin Bisch fragrance. I would call this a woody amber, and it's black pepper, timut pepper, it's black pepper, timut berry, rose absolute, atlas cedar, fir balsam, and labdanum for the ambery effect. Very woody, very spicy. It does lean masculine, but I think if you're a woman and you like these kind of notes, definitely check it out. I mean, I think it's great. And there's that little slight light rosiness during the heart stage that kind of balances out the fragrance a little bit with its kind of rosy qualities, but I wouldn't personally call this a rose fragrance. It's a great, more dense, intense take on the original, whereas when you compare them side by side, you'll notice the airiness of the original in EDP, and here it's 32%, and I believe the previous version was 16% concentration, so this is much more dense, much more intense, and you'll really, really notice the the intensity when you're comparing them side by side. I mean, you'll really experience how intense and potent this extract is in comparison to the original. But I'm smelling it as soon as I sprayed it on the strip. It reminds me of the original, but then it also gives me that ambery effect. For sure, you're getting it. It has an ambery presence, but you're experiencing the spices, the woods that are in here, and also some light aromatic notes. And it's definitely got the signature of Quentin Bisch, one of the most popular, biggest names in perfume making over at Givaudan. Givaudan, I got to visit during my time in Paris Perfume Week. And the visit was more for meeting with Sonia Constant, but sadly it was really rushed and it was in a group, so I couldn't really have time to talk to her. But Quentin Bisch also works at Givaudan, and they do utilize similar kind of ingredients. And I feel like even though this doesn't mention it has Akigala wood, I most likely feel like there is some in here because I believe it was in the original. But I really love the DNA of this. Bois Imperial in its original form wasn't my all-time favorite from Essential Parfums. Now in its extract form, it's become really, really great. Again, you might be more into the lighter version. I like my fragrances to be intense, and I really love the Bois Imperial Extrait. It's got more luxurious, more intense, more deep, more rich, and of course spicy, woody, and ambery all come to mind with that fragrance. And last but not least, it's BLNDRGRPHY Vanilla Mudslide. So again, just like Essential Parfums Bois Imperial Extrait, I got to sample this fragrance at Petit Fragranza when the brand, the owner of the brand, had just put out the fragrances. It's the same folks behind the brand Hunk, and these fragrances are all cocktail inspired. This is a Vanilla Mudslide. Now, I've never really had a mudslide myself, but this fragrance, oh man, so super intoxicating, so super delicious. And for me, even though there's no mention of tobacco, I get a tobacco-ish effect here, and I love that about it because it adds a bit of a dirty layer, like ashy, like the smoke becomes ash. Super fantastic. So this is a Anne-Sophie Bahagel creation from Flair. Remember, as I said, Cocktail APPALACHES is Camille Chemardin of Flair, and this is Anne-Sophie Bahagel of Flair. If you don't know much about her, she works with Amélie Bourgeois. They co-create fragrances. They're at the same company, the same firm. And of course, Anne-Sophie Bahagel does fragrances by herself as well. She did an amazing job here. She's also done Sugar Addict and many others. Sugar Addicts were born to stand out. This, to me, I wore so much of as a decant that I had received during Petit Fragranza, and I got compliments, and people really loved it. And I love its intensity because this is an Extrait de Parfum. It's super spicy. Interesting also, I had a sniff session client here all day, 2 hours in the studio, 3 hours shopping. I took them to ZGO. The guy bought a bottle of this, fell in love with it. So it basically a subscriber of mine came, and I feel like once they kind of understand my taste in fragrances, then they end up, liking the fragrances I like because they connect with my interest in the different smells and things like that. But it features bitter almonds, butter, coconut milk, cocoa, coffee, davana, sweet almonds, vanilla, ISO-E Super, ambroxan, vodka, and white musks. And I'm always mentioning I love boozy fragrances, and this does have a bit of a boozy effect, but I don't get booziness from vodka, clear spirits, not gin. They don't come off boozy like they would with rum, cognac, whiskey. Those kind of spirits come off more boozy. But this does have a bit of a boozy effect. It's super almondy, a bit chocolatey, very vanilla-like, but I'm getting tobacco. Or something acting like tobacco that's creating a super sexy layer with all the gourmand notes. Definitely one of my favorite fragrances. It just launched at the end of last year, even though they were introduced at Petit Fragranza last September. But if you haven't gotten your nose on this, definitely do. It's in the kit right now. The kit is out and it's selling, and I think if you love vanilla fragrances, you're going to love it. If you love my taste, you're going to love this one. And it's a compliment getter, super long lasting, super sexy. Love it. Really, really love it. And once again, the Flair DNA. The ingredients they use are amazing. I'm absolutely head over heels with this DNA. Les Eaux Primordiales is also a Flair perfumer, Amélie Bourgeois. So there are some similarities with the kind of ingredients they use. The fragrances don't smell alike, but you get reminders of it because they're utilizing similar ingredients or notes, if that makes sense. Let's quickly smell the fragrance because this stuff is so, so good. If you haven't gotten your nose on this one, please do. But you know what? It's funny. A lot of you were messaging me, not a lot, several. I've received several messages and comments asking me to get my nose on this one. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do, because I post about new fragrances there. And I had posted about Vanilla Mudslide on Instagram. But lately I've been starting to post on my community posts page here on YouTube as well. And probably I should have, since you guys, tell me to get my nose on things. And sometimes I do, and you aren't aware of it. But this one, has that almondy touch, definitely. But it does get vanillic, it does get chocolatey, it does get ambery, for sure. Lots of vanilla. It's a bit more on the dry side, but also I'm getting the tobacco-ish touches, for sure. But man, it's so super sexy. This stuff is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Definitely one of my favorite fragrances of 2024. I wish I had it with me at the end of 2024 to talk more about it. And again, also, if you haven't caught the video I shot with the founder of BLNDRGRPHY and Essence, please go catch it to learn more about their other fragrances. All of the fragrances are inspired by cocktails. BLNDRGRPHY's Vanilla Mudslide, super amazing. I'm so grateful that it's featured in the kit number 14. This is an amazing kit, guys, and I think you're gonna love it. We have about 5.5 ml atomizers here, and it's 3 of them, and it's on the store. It's linked below, and get your kits now before we run out. I think this is going to be a very popular kit, and I feel like if you're like my taste in fragrances, you're really going to enjoy this kit. And as I said, also we do have a little bit more of kit 13 available because we had the store closed for a month and a half. We closed the store right after we dropped this, so there are some more kits 13 left as well. But I'm not going anywhere for a while unless something changes. The store is going to be open, although if I do go anywhere, it's not going to be for like a month and a half like I was gone. But I'm excited for this kit, guys. I hope you guys take a shot at this one. If you haven't bought any of the kits, all the info is at the link below. Go check it out. Once we drop kits and we run out, we will not reintroduce those kits. We move on to the next one. And we're doing these regular kits every 2 months or so, give or take. So we've got another one planned going forward. But in the meantime, again, this is an amazing kit. And these kits are awesome. You can take the samples with you or just take the kit with you. You're on a trip or something. You work in an office that you can wear fragrances. You're on the go, traveling, all that kind of stuff. You can just take the kit with you or take the atomizers out and pop them into a bag and take them along with you. There's a few additional extras in this store also. Check it out. We've got like loose samples left over from various past kits, so those are also individually selling in the store. Other than that, I appreciate you tuning in today's video. If you have any questions or comments about Scent Club kit number 14, do add it below. Please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So I did say that I wanted to update you guys with a few little updates here. I don't want to do a separate video. I'm just adding it to this video, so it's just a couple of little things. So if you guys noticed, during the time I was gone, I had a little bit of a problem with my eye. So you might have caught some of my videos where you saw something wrong with my eye. And I think there was also a bunch of videos I shot before I left that I haven't aired yet. You'll notice that there were some issues with my eye. So I had a weird sty issue that came up. And so it prevented me from shooting content before I left. It just popped up like 4 days prior to my leaving. Maybe it was 3, I can't remember. But I was using some skincare product and it kind of got into my eyes. I slept on it, woke up with kind of a red eye, and there was like a pimple on my eye. I've never had a thing like this happen before, and I'm pretty self-conscious. I don't like getting on camera, but I had to get on camera at certain occasions, like shooting content during Essence. I had the issue, and here and there I was shooting some videos. But the weird thing with this sty was it was going away, coming back, going away, clearing up, coming back. It was on me for about 45 days. Most of the time I was on the trip. So it was such an annoying thing. I went to the doctor twice. Once in Vienna, not Vienna, but in Austria, but in Salzburg, and then once in London, because it just was bothering me. I couldn't stand it. So they kept giving me some prescriptions, like a gel, like an ointment type of a thing, and also a drop. I don't know. It's cleared up now, thankfully, but there will be a few videos I'm going to air that I shot before I left with the sty. So if you see something, excuse me, but I can't reshoot some of the videos I shot, and I'm just going to air it as is. But you might have noticed something was wrong with my eye. It was nothing. It's just a sty. And I've never had a sty in my life before. The first time, it was super annoying, and I hated the hell out of that thing. Anyway, if you've had this issue, let me know. Add a comment. It was just really, really annoying. It just wouldn't go away. I mean, I would follow what the doctors would say. Just nothing. Anyway. So the next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is the next fragrance that I am working on. Remember I told you it's going to be a trilogy. And some of you said Sarah Baker. No, I'm not working with Sarah Baker on this. I know she does trilogies, but it's not Sarah Baker. So the fragrance I am working on that will be launched, it keeps getting delayed, unfortunately. Even though the actual fragrance is finished, now the headache is finding a filler and a company that can do the small quantities we're going to do of the fragrance. So once that part is done, then I could say this is the date that this is going to be launched. Because once we have the compound, that's going to have to be mixed with alcohol. And then after that, it needs to macerate for a good 2 months. Then, of course, you bottle it and all that good stuff, label it, and voila, it will be launched. But that's the next obstacle, the next hiccup, finding a frickin' company that will do a small quantity. I mean, we're doing a small quantity. It's not going to be like the Juice Box project, as I said, and I started this before the Juice Box project. But we're just going to, try and get as many as we can. And I will let you guys know about retailers. These are going to be exclusively sold at a few retailers across the globe. We do have USA, we have EU, I think we have a few EU, and we have, I think, 1 or 2 Middle East as well. So these are the places that this fragrance is going to sell. And again, I'll let you guys know as soon as we have the filler and labeler and all that kind of stuff company. So, but the fragrance itself is ready to go. It's, compound delivered to the company that's going to, mix it with alcohol, bottle it, let it macerate and macerate. And then after that, I can say, hey, it's ready. Come check it out. This is a fun fragrance. So we did have we've just had some issues. This is like a very independent project. So it's not like a mass market project where I'm working with a brand like Juice Box and they've already done this like 100,000 times, because the Juice Box folks also did Costume National. They still own this brand, so they still launch fragrances for Costume National. So they're very experienced. I'm working with a very small independent perfumer, and so this is the first big project for this perfumer. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. Stay tuned for more content. I know I kind of lagged because of the eye issue. I kind of took some time off. I was just kind of stressing out about the eye issue, and it was a really pretty intensely annoying, time. Just unable to focus because the red eye, the itchy eye, the watery eye, and the fact that it wasn't going away. And I would look up and talk to people. Oh, it should go away in 2-3 days, a week, 45 days later, still going on strong. So I know you guys had missed videos, but don't worry. I'll have a ton of content. In fact, I've shot a ton of content, and I'm going to be airing them soon. And as I said, when you notice my eye red, you'll know It's some of the content that I shot before I left with the issue. So please don't say anything weird about it, because it's just basically a sty that I was dealing with, which was kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, lots of content. There's content shot at one more video from Essence, independent niche perfumer, coming up like within the week. But there's other content that I've shot prior to leaving that I haven't aired yet. And then there's a few videos I shot while in London visiting with a few brands. And then there's probably like 5 or 6 videos from Paris Perfume Week. And of course, some impromptu videos with a couple of other perfumers in Paris. Perfume brands, I should say. And yeah, one of the videos is with Christopher Sheldrake, who did a lot of fragrances for Serge Lutens. And he's with the brand, he created the brand Spoturno fragrances, and he's created 5 fragrances for them. And they had a pop-up shop in Paris. And it was an impromptu meeting there, and I had my camera equipment. I said, let's shoot a video. I mean, it's a bit dark, and it was late in the day, in the evening, but we got some content with not only Christopher Sheldrake, who is one of the legendary perfumers, but also the founder of the brand. And then also, lastly, I should give you a little tease. I shot a video with Bertrand Duchaufour, one of my favorite perfumers for the brand L'Anthropiste, one of my favorite discoveries at Essence. This was the brand that I had already discovered prior to Essence, but they weren't exhibiting at Essence. I just had a meeting with them, and they showed me the fragrances. They launched fragrances. It's a brand for Bertrand Duchaufour. He's created all the fragrances, and the way he was explaining the fragrances to me made the fragrances come alive. So this was my favorite discovery at Essence, even though they didn't exhibit at Essence. But anyway, videos coming up soon. Stay tuned. And again, I'm so glad to be back, and please don't forget to take advantage of your kit. Get it now before we run out. Thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.